Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you all are doing extremely well. So in this video, we are going to talk about completely about the TCS DCA procedure regarding the digital, like the digital exam, about it, and what are the steps and who can take it, and what are the things to crack it. So today we have Avneesh Jha with us. So he recently cracked the DCA exam in I think in June. So let's discuss his complete journey of the preparation and everything about it from himself. Okay. So first of all, thank you very much, Avnish, for providing your valuable time from a busy time. So let's start with your introduction first.
Yeah. Hi Rajat, how are you?
I'm fine. What
So
about you?
yeah, I am also fine. So as you have already introduced me, my name is Avneesh Jha, and I have been working in TCS for 2 years since June 2019. Currently, I have the designation of system engineer at TCS, and I cracked the DCA test recently in June 2021. So I graduated in computer science and engineering in 2019, and after that I joined TCS as a fresher. So that's all about me.
So that's great. So you cracked this TCA in the June 2021, right?
Yeah, 2 3
Okay,
months
okay,
back.
okay, fine. So, Avnish, let's talk about your college background, like your branch and your degree.
Okay, so I graduated from AKTU University, which was previously known as UPTU, and
Hmm?
I was in IMS Engineering College, the one which is in the NCR region, and my branch was Computer Science and Engineering.
Okay, okay. Computer science is fine, fine. Okay, so let's talk about your DC journey. So first of all, I want to ask that many students, like whoever joined TCS, they have who are fresher, so they have doubt like what is DCA exam. They don't know about it, right? So they don't know about the DCA exam. So what advice you give to those who don't know about DCA exam? How to explore it? How to know about it?
So my advice would be to regularly check the communities and the groups that are on the Ultimatics, which is a portal for TCS employees. So most of the updates are there only. And as far as for this process for procedure for fresher is concerned, most of the eligible fresher get this information via email. So the
Okay.
communities or the groups send email to all the eligible freshers and whoever is eligible. So they can know it from there. And if they want to know some other thing or in detail, they can visit the communities on the Ultimatics portal.
Okay. So can you name some of the communities in Portal?
Yeah.
If
So
they are
so the so the main community for digital or we say DCA is a NOMI community. So it is accessible via Ultimatics portal, and all the employee can access this community. And from there,
okay.
they can know all the information about this.
Fine. So, so let's talk about one thing that who all are eligible for DCA, like only the freshers or experience, or which range are eligible for DCA?
So obviously freshers are eligible, and even before joining they are eligible for for the digital. And once you are in the TCS, you are eligible as long as you have experience less than 3 years. So you are
Okay.
eligible for this DCA test.
Okay. Okay. Fine. And what about those whose experience is more than 3 years?
So for more experienced employees, TCS has rolled out many other programs like Wings 2.
Okay.
So it's very similar to the DCA, but it's for a highly experienced candidate.
Okay. Fine. Fine. So it's 0 to 3 years, right?
Yeah, for the DCA 0 to 3 years.
Okay. So one thing I want to ask that how many times DCA happens in 1 year?
Currently, it is scheduled 2 times a year. So we have two DC exams in 1 year.
And any specific month or quarter, like Q1, Q2,
Yeah,
like this?
right now the first exam happens in the April month, and the second one happens in September or October. So I think one is right now scheduled in September.
So usually it happens offline, right? But this year it will happen. It happens online, right?
Yeah, yeah. Due to the pandemic situation, the exams were carried out online.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay. So yeah, one thing I want to ask that after clearing the DCA, suppose you cleared the DCA, then what will be the CTC of the guy who cleared the DCA?
So the CTC usually ranges between 7 to 8, and it depends upon how much experience you are. Like if you are a fresher, then you will get slightly less than the one who are more experienced, like 2 or 3 years.
So
But
max it is
it
8.
usually range between 7 to 8 LPA.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah. Right now it's
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the DCA, right? So what comes in DCA actually?
so the DCA is very typical, typical exam like every other placement exam. It has, aptitude question like numerical ability, reasoning ability, some language, English language questions, and then on top of that, then we have two coding questions to do in that exam.
Okay, okay.
And
So
it is divided. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You carry on.
Yeah, you tell.
So it is divided into two sections. One section is for the numerical ability, reasoning, and English, and the other section is for coding.
Coding. Okay, fine. So from where to prepare for DCA? Like any sites or resources?
Yeah, for the numerical ability, I followed the book by Arun Sharma. So and for coding and other thing, I followed Geeks for Geeks portal.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay. So how hard is the DCA exam actually overall?
Overall, I will say it's moderate. It can be hard, but mostly it's moderate.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about your DCA written exam, right? Like, can you please tell what from what topics the questions are asked in logical reasoning, aptitude, and in coding?
So in the numerical ability, reasoning was slightly easier than the numerical ability, and numerical ability consisted of percentage, profit and loss, data interpretation, statistics, and all. These were the main topics for the numerical ability. There were, I think, 15 questions in the numerical ability, and these were the main topics.
Okay, and verbal ability.
Verbal ability is quite easy. It's not hard. Anyone can easily can do those
Uh,
questions.
Okay, and in reasoning,
Reasoning was also easy. Mostly sequence and series questions were there. What is next in the sequence? Like these
okay,
questions.
and those which are like syllogism type, like those questions are also there.
Yeah, yeah, they were also there. Yes.
Okay, and in coding, like from which topics they took the questions.
Mostly based on arrays, strings, bit manipulation, and also on some on recursion also.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. So, which section you found out the hardest one in your exam?
Yeah, personally, I feel that numerical ability was the hardest one
Okay, okay, fine, fine.
due to the time constraint.
Okay, okay. So, so next is I want to ask that from aptitude, like what advice you give that for which topics one wants to prepare if they want to score more in less time.
Uh, So to crack the numerical ability, one should focus on profit and loss, statistics, probability, and data interpretation.
Okay,
These are the most important.
and from coding, which data structures are important and algorithms are important.
I will say if you practice well for the array manipulation, string manipulation, bit manipulation, and if you know bit about recursion, then it's good. And if you know about the dynamic programming, then it will be a lot easier for you to solve the questions.
Fine, fine. That's good. So, what all coding languages are allowed in the coding section?
So all the main programming languages are allowed, like Python, Java, JavaScript, PHP, C, C++. All these are there.
Okay. So, one thing I want to ask that in between the test, can we switch? Like, suppose we are in numerical ability and we want to switch to verbal ability. Suppose we don't know some questions on numerical, we want to switch.
No, no. We can't toggle between the sections. No,
Okay. So
we
we
have
have.
to. Yeah, we have to attempt section by section only.
Okay. Okay. That's complete. Okay. Okay. So, how is the marking of DCS is done? Like, it is sectional wise or it is overall?
Yeah, it's divided into two sections. One section is for the coding, and other is for numerical, reasoning, and language.
Okay, okay. So it is sectional wise. Fine. So generally, after completing the written test, when will the result of written test came?
So it depends. It ranges, but time ranges between months to 40 days. In 30-40 days you will get the result. Who all have passed the test. 30 to 40 days.
30 to 40 days. Okay. So complete one and a half months.
Yeah, almost.
And the result is come on your email only, right?
Yeah. We see via email. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about your interview experience, like your after written exam, the interview.
So the after we get the result, our interviews is scheduled, and we are assigned one interviewer, and the interview is a mix of technical and your aspirational things and all. How you are performing in your current project, what are your aspirations, what are your skills, what certification you have done, and there are also T factor that all the TCS employees know. So they also focus on what is your T factor. So all these the interview is a mix of all these things.
Okay, so what topics generally one needs to prepare for the interview exam?
So for the interview, one must be very one must know very well about his own project in which he is working, and he should
Mhm.
also have some certification, professional certification either for the cloud or for any language that he is interested in. These two help the most, and then you can convince the interviewer that these are your skills and these are all the work you have done. You just have to show yourself as important resource to the company.
Okay, okay, fine. And when will the result of interview come?
The result of interview usually come within 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, on the mail, right?
Yeah, same on the
So
mail.
is there any possibility that in the interview one can reject?
Yeah. I've seen many cases. One of my friend was rejected in the interview.
Okay, okay. So, so as you said that T factor is also asked in interview, so it means that T factor is also plays an important role in interview, right?
Yes. It is also important. Key factor is
So
important.
generally, what is the good T factor one need to secure so that you have an edge in the interview?
For the DCA, if you have T factor above 2, then it's quite good.
Okay, above two. Fine, fine.
Yeah, but
And
but it's not mandatory for fresher as they need some time to reach that T factor.
okay, okay, fine. And the project matters a lot. Like what the work you are doing in the project, it all matters in the interview. Right?
No, it does not matter that much, but you should be well aware of what is your project and what is your role. It doesn't matter
Okay,
what technology right now you are working on, but if you have some other skill, then it's a plus point for you.
okay, okay, fine, fine. So uh, next thing I want to ask that your if you are fresher, so you didn't get any band, right? Because you are fresher. But if
Yeah,
you are experienced, then your recent band matters in the interview.
not directly in the interview, but if your band is C or D, then you are not eligible to take the exam itself.
Okay,
That means if you have a C band in the last rating, then you are not eligible to take the exam.
okay. So not able to even sit in the written exam, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. So next I want to ask that is there any other way to get digital apart from the DC exam?
Yes. So there is a parallel program going on known as Wings One. So Wings One is divided into 5 or 6 modules. Upon clearing each module, you get compensated, and your rank also increases. Like in DCA, we have one attempt. We clear the DCA, we give the interview, we clear the interview, then we are in the digital cadre. So in Wings One, you clear the first module, then you get into the digital cadre, and then after each subsequent module, you increase your designation increases or your cadre increases.
Okay,
So yes,
fine.
there is the Wings One if you want to be in the digital cadre.
So Wings one, those can give who are not in DC, right?
Yeah, anyone can appear for the DCA,
No,
even if he or she has cleared the DCA.
okay, okay. Let's suppose you cleared the DCA as you cleared DCA, right? So if you
Yeah.
want to do Wings one, so is there any benefit to do Wings one in remuneration?
So for clearing first module, there wouldn't be any much difference because after clearing the first module, you get into the digital cadre. Since I'm already in the digital cadre, it
Mm-hmm.
won't make
Yes.
much difference. But
Okay.
after clearing the other subsequent module, there will be benefit for me or for
Okay.
anyone who has cleared the DCA already.
Great. So suppose one doesn't want to apply for DCA, so he or she can go for Wings one, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, fine. So, like this DCA path, is there any path for innovation also? Like the innovation is the highest path in TCS, right?
yeah. So the Wings one that I'm talking about, its last completion of its last module will lead to the innovation group,
Okay,
innovation
okay,
cadre.
fine. So anyone can go for it, right?
Yeah, anyone.
Okay, that's great. Okay. So last I want to ask that what advice you give to those who are preparing for DCA, as the DCA is also coming on September 27th this time, right? So what advice you give to
Mhm.
aspirations and aspirants?
My only advice is to all the freshers or anyone who's experienced below this, that don't get scared of the exam. It is very easy once you understand the pattern, and once you prepare a little bit, it's very easy for you to crack, and it's very good. It's a very good opportunity to get recognized for the skills that you have. So you should definitely try this.
Okay, okay, that's great. Okay, so that's all about it. Thank you very much for your time and telling about everything.
Thank you, Rajat. Thank you.
So if
Thank you for
anyone
having.
has, yes, yes, sure. Sir. So if anyone is having any doubts, so I can post Avnish's LinkedIn ID in the description box. You can ask from him. Okay, so he can tell you the doubts. So that's it about it. Thank you very much for your time, Avnish, and telling everything about it.
Thank you, Rajat.